Welcome back, everyone. We got the 05 Silverado back on the lift today. The reason for this is twofold. Number one, we are going to be replacing the parking brake cable that is now not here anymore. As you can see from the other side, there should be a cable going out there. The reason it's not there is because it broke and I pulled the old one out because I thought I had the right part and I did not. So you're going to get half an install video here, a full install, but half the total process video here. It routes through here, goes up there. Anyway, we'll get to all that. And then we are going to oil undercoat the truck because we are coming up on winter here. And my rule is that after September 1st, when it's on the lift, it gets undercoated. The next time it's on the lift for something else. I don't want to sit around and have to pull the thing back on the lift just to do the undercoating. And then the spare tire's down because I got a screw in the sidewall of this tire and we actually swapped on a good used tire for now anyway. It is slightly mismatched, which I don't love, but it is what it is. You know, I can decide to change it in the future. They gave this to me for practically for free, so I was like, whatever, put it on. So anyway, we got a lot of little things to do, and we'll get back to you. I also kind of want to try to figure out why this is leaked. The diff is leaking right here. I don't know if that bolt is just a little loose or something, but we'll take a look at that too. The cover's getting, I don't like that. First thing first, we're gonna want to get the tire off. I already kind of pre-loosened this last time. I just never tightened the pads to the shoes to the drum. But you're gonna want to loosen your shoes a little bit if you need to. And get your drum off. Probably could have gave those half a turn, but that's okay. All right. Set this down. Obviously a good time to replace your shoes if you need to, but these are at about half-life, so we're gonna send it and not worry about that. A pair of needle nose pliers will work here. What we're gonna do is pop this spring out, close your eyes, or put safety glasses on. That would obviously be the proper way to do that. But you know, safety squints are a thing. You're gonna pull your little bracket out right here. This video will also cover doing a brake pad or shoe change essentially. We're gonna pull this clip out. That's the little horseshoe spring. And that's gonna free up our, well, mostly free up our shoe here. I'm trying to do all this one-handed right now. Wee woo, wee woo. All right, that came out. So this is the meat and potatoes. Yeah! So this is where that new cable is gonna go. Right in this slot up here. Obviously the old one is hanging out, or the other side's hanging out for dear life. It's in decent enough shape. I'm decided to leave it. There's really not a huge penalty in doing this separately. It's not any harder to do this job. So the way that I want to do this though, to make it easier, is we'll actually start here, and you want to kind of watch this routing. So we're gonna go between the shock and the rear axle. So in front of the shock, I should say. And this one's gonna be on top of the other one. Now you can fish these through, but we don't need to. So why would we make our lives harder? So we'll put that there. Don't fall on me. This is gonna get fished through here. And again, this one's the top one, so we're just gonna do everything the same path as the other side, except it'll be above it. Now, obviously the lift arm is in the way a little bit. It will sneak through here. I kind of purposely put my lift arm in such a way that it would. If you're doing this on the ground, that really won't be an issue for you. One of the few times having a lift is maybe slightly disadvantageous in a way. All right, so now you can see we've snaked it all the way through here. I wish the lighting was a little bit better, but we're working with what we got here, folks. So now you're going to pull this until that plastic piece is past the steel of the frame. There we go. Perfect. And trust me when I tell you, this will all self-tension and seat when you're all said and done, so don't go too crazy with it. we're gonna take this, we're gonna bend it into the slot right there, and we're gonna turn it that way, and then we're gonna go ahead and push our cable back in. So now we're starting to look like we've got proper ABS, or ABS, proper parking brake again. So we come back over here, we are going to unwrap the rest of this, and this bracket here should line up perfectly with the one on the diff, okay? And then I believe, I thought there was one here. I thought there was one more. Maybe there's not. Maybe it just floats. We could zip tie that or something, but I don't think we need to. And then we're gonna need to take this bracket back off. This will go here. I'll do that after, but for now, we can just route, we can do that after, so we can route this into the brake area. And then we're gonna seat that, so that's seated. Boom, we're making progress. So now, all we've gotta do is we're gonna take a pair of pliers, because these things are, and just pull this out as far as we can. What basically happens is it retracts beyond a kind of reasonable amount. See how much I just got out of that by pulling it with pliers? Be gentle so you don't mar up the cabling, or you will break your brand new cable. But you can even hear, if you listen closely, that we're tensioning it on the other side, because this has gotten all out of, you know, this was all tipped down, right? So now that thing is nice and vertical, which is good. So we should be good there. It doesn't take too much to get this in, but it is a little bit tricky to get these to seat. So the way this works is you slide the spring all the way over, and then you've kind of got to work that pin. So I'll usually take pliers. Well, I'm probably gonna have to take this other brake shoe off. I was trying to do this the half butt way, and that's just never really the proper solution. So let's get this off before we drop it and destroy it. And then we're gonna take our pliers. We'll get the spring out of the way. What the heck? Not gonna hurt anything. Pull that good. Take your spring, slide around over. And then you can see that this ends right here. So it hasn't quite gotten far enough. So we're gonna take the pliers in the back and just try to feed a little bit more in there. Then we should be able to just kind of push and compress this spring until this clips in. You're not gonna be able to see because I kind of got to use my body a little bit here. But you can also sometimes like grab it in the middle of the spring. Sometimes that's easier if you just like open up a section of spring. You know, I've never really watched a video on somebody else doing this. I don't know if somebody has a better way, if there's some special tool. I've usually had pretty good luck with my methods. You know, and my parking brake cable did last 260,000 miles in the upstate, or you know, in the Northeast. So I don't think I damaged the cable in any way. But I just kind of try to. You could put a pair of vice grips on there. That I try not to do, just because I don't know. I don't want to damage it. But it really might not actually damage it. Oh, that'll give you a better view. Give her the wiggle. Come on, catch, you son of a biscuit. You have friggin' third hand right now. There we go. Golly. All right. Just gonna bend some of this stuff around so it does its job better. Got a little bit of tomfoolery going on down here. Nice. So that's gonna go like that. Tuck that up there. Oh yeah, baby. Love it. One in. This is one of those jobs that like you take for granted. Man, if you had two people, it really would make it easier. That could be said for most mechanicking in general. Trying to pinch the ever-loving crap out of my finger in there. Trying to rip that boot up there either. Luckily, the wheel cylinders are a whopping $10, $11 if you do break one. So, not the worst scenario if you get a little bit rambunctious with some of this stuff and damage it. You just gotta, I think I have some on a shelf somewhere too, because I just assume that they're gonna fail at any given time. All right, so that is gonna do that pretty well. So we're just gonna check, make sure our parking brake cable's got good clearance. down there. Whoa! Which it does. We're all good there. And then because this is a new cable, I think I might pop the door open. Well, first of all, let me put all this stuff back on just so we don't pop the brakes out of place accidentally. But I'm gonna put all this stuff back on. Our wheel cylinder opened up on us. And I want to just kind of verify what the pedal feels like, the parking brake pedal. I'm gonna have to basically put everything back together to do that, but give it a shot. See what it feels like. Before I forget to do this, let's just do that quickly. 13 millimeter. Loosen that up nice and gingerly. Get your other bracket on there. So we got that bolted on. Let's go check our brake pedal together. Or our parking brake pedal cable. Oh yeah, baby. She already feels better. Very good. Very, very good. Okay, let's go back up. So what we will do is give the drums a little bit of an adjustment while we're here, just to see. You probably could use it. I didn't adjust them that long ago, but with the parking brake cable dying and everything else, we'll just check them. I like to be thorough. Not always, but most of the time, I like to be thorough. Turn the camera on, but we are basically locked up there, so we're gonna turn it back a couple turns. Everyone's got their own way of adjusting drum brakes, it seems, but I basically go until it locks the drum up, locks the tire up, whatever, and then turn it back. Is it better to do it with the tire on? Maybe, I don't know. You get a feel for it over time. I've had pretty good luck with these drums too. They're pretty forgiving for a set of drum brakes. There we go. I think we'll leave that right there. There is the very real and valid argument or thing that you should back off the other side before you start adjusting, because if the other side's hung up a little bit, you'll kind of screw up your feel on the side that you're trying to adjust. But again, this isn't a race car here. We're just trying to get my old Chevy back on the road safe, a little bit safer, a little bit better. So let's not overthink things. All right, guys, so that's gonna wrap up the parking brake cable replacement job on this thing. Super simple. The part itself is like 30, 40 bucks, so not too bad. This one has bit the dust. She ripped the end right off, but 260,000 miles, can't complain. So with that being said, I hope this helped you out. If you liked this, feel free to follow along and see some more stuff. So as always, guys, thanks for watching. God bless America, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.